Hello, today I am here to talk about EAP guidelines for supervisor referrals. Now, the responsibility of the supervisor is to effectively manage the workplace, the productivity, and the employees. But of course, sometimes that's not always easy to manage, especially when you have an employee that may be experiencing some personal issues. And sometimes personal issues result in behavior changes, and those behavior changes can affect all aspects of our life. A lot of times in the workplace, employees bring those behavior changes to the workplace, and it disrupts workflow. So as a supervisor, you want to be able to offer your employee resources, guidance, direction on how to handle the issue, to hopefully resolve the issue so that it doesn't negatively impact the work area. So, as a supervisor to you, I want to remind you of a very valuable resource that you have available to you at your disposal. It is the EAP. Just to review a little bit what the EAP is. It is the Employee Assistance Program. Now, this program is paid for by BJC, which means this service is free to the employee and their dependents. The service provides counseling, confidential counseling services to the employee and their immediate family members. So, most cases we are helping people deal with personal issues or work-related issues. It doesn't matter. Either way, the program is still free to the employee and their immediate family member. Ideally, we would like to intervene before problems begin to disrupt their work or family life, but a lot of times that's not the case. Because a lot of times when we are under stress or we're experiencing life issues, we're the last ones to know that our behaviors are changed because of it. Normally, others observe those changes before we even understand what's happening. So a lot of times we wait until it's already impacting our work life before we even know that there's an issue. Okay. As an employee and a supervisor, these services are free to you to come in and get free counseling services. But as a supervisor, EAP is also designed to help you assist these employees that are having these problems on the job. We do that by consulting on departmental problems, aiding in skill development, providing crisis support and coaching for specific issues. For example, if you have an employee who is having some issues and their behaviors are impacting the workplace, you may want to give us a call just to kind of talk through what the issues are, see if we can help you strategize an approach to maybe addressing the issue with the client, maybe even giving you some kind of support of your own in dealing with whatever the issue is at that time. Okay. As a manager, it's also very important that you understand or know or are familiar with what those signs are if someone is experiencing some personal issues. Sometimes they're pretty apparent, and at other times they're not. And these are just some of the things that you want to look for. Things that not necessarily mean for sure that there's a problem. You specifically want to look for if there are patterns being developed. You know, if there are isolated incidents, of course, there may not be necessarily a problem. But if there are some type of pattern developing, this may be indicative of some personal issues that this employee may be encountering. Some of the things are absenteeism. If the employee is calling off a lot, calling in sick, they're coming in late for work, they're taking more breaks than normally, or they're away from the workplace an extended amount of time. If you see a decrease in their job performance, their quality, their quantity of work has decreased, they're not managing their time as effectively as they used to. Maybe their mood or their reactions are differently. Their interactions with other employees have changed. You know, they're having conflict with other employees. You know, there's a difference in their attitude. And more importantly, their appearance. If they have a change in their appearance, you know, if their hygiene is different, their speech, there's a big increase or decrease in their weight and their mannerisms. And the biggest thing, if you start to see an increase in accidents, these are things that you want to be familiar with and look for, because these are things that are indicative of there's some personal problems or there's some issues that may be going on with this employee. Okay. Now, if you decide that this is an employee that may need some additional services or some additional resources, EAP is a resource that you can refer the employee to. And it's very, very simple in doing that. The first thing that all you would need to do is to contact the EAP. You know, contact us for coaching. If you just want to ask us maybe some questions about what's going on, seeing if it's an appropriate referral for EAP, maybe want to talk about some additional resources for that employee, we are there for that. So you can contact us and ask us questions first. We can also recommend that if you are going to suggest that an employee come to EAP, prepare for your meeting before you meet with the employee. You know, make sure you have your documentation, the observations that you've observed, have them documented, the dates and the times, and be prepared for when you get ready to sit down with this employee. Also, if you want to rehearse, you know, with us, we'll do that with you, you know, just to give you a more of a comfort level with talking to this employee about whatever the issue might be. And then you want to confront the employee, of course. And you want to make sure you confront them in a confidential setting. You don't want everyone around listening and hearing what it is that you're talking to them about. You want to be very non-judgmental, meaning you want to make sure you stick to what you observe, you know, just the behaviors that you observe. We don't want you diagnosing people or even counseling people. Leave that to us. But you want to be very descriptive about what the behaviors are and how they're impacting the workplace. Be firm, but be positive about solving the problem. You know, let people know that referral to EAP is not a discipline, but it's a helpful resource for people. And you want them to be successful as possible. So you're going to do everything in your power as their supervisor to help that process. Okay? And then, of course, finally, document the interaction in detail. You know, document how that person responded to your recommendation, if they were open to it, or maybe if there might be some resistance to them following through. You want to just make sure you keep good documentation about your meeting. Okay. I understand that confronting an employee can be very challenging and difficult at times. That's why please, please, please remember, EAP is here to assist you in those areas. You can contact us by our phone numbers, or you can even go through our website at www.bjceap.com. Thank you.